standing there by my side.
Maybe over the top.
WaynEllington, he's got it! WaynEllington is feeling it!
I'm Nicole Francois, and I'm sitting here today with Mr. WaynEllington Jr. of the Brooklyn Nets. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I want to say thank you for having us here with you today and for actually doing this interview.
Well, thank you for having me, and absolutely thrilled to be able to be here and participate today.
We're here to discuss the death of your father, the late WaynEllington Sr. Can you tell me about that day and how it affected yourself and your family?
Yeah, it was a tragic day. Like you said, it was a tragedy. Came out of my game. I was playing for the Lakers at the time, and everything just felt kind of weird that day. It was a kind of dark day. It was kind of dark altogether, and we had just got our first win, and coming into the locker room, I checked my phone, and usually after the game I would have a text from my dad. Usually, as soon as the game ended, and I didn't have anything, so it felt kind of weird. And then when I got in the shower and came back out, I had a bunch of missed calls. So from my family, I was just trying to figure out what was going on. I usually wouldn't have had that many calls, and unfortunately, when I did get a hold of my family, they struck me with the horrible news.
I see that you have, what is that written on your sneaker?
Yeah, I keep my dad with me every game I'm playing, so I put his initials, and I put a little quote and quotations that he used to always say to me, and then I put rest in peace, Pops.
What is that
just
quote?
Just to feel like he's always with me. Huh?
You said you put a quote.
Yeah, I put GTW in parentheses. He's always, every time I used to talk to him, he'd always say, "Go to work." That was his thing. He used to always say.
Nice. So how has it been from then till now? When was that? The date?
That was last November.
Last November.
November
Wow.
9th.
How have you actually been coping, still having to be on the court, being a public figure? How are you finding it possible to cope emotionally with this?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Very tough every day. Obviously, to this day, I still sit and I think about my dad. Sometimes I have some not so good moments, but it keeps me going. It keeps me positive. It keeps me pushing. Just the fact that knowing he's watching over me, looking over me, and that he would want me to be doing these positive things, and that's part of the reason why I'm sitting here today with you.
Right. Did it change you in any way as today, how you are as a man today? Like, did that have any kind of effect on what kind of things you want to do in life, as far as working with children, the messaging, and what came out of this? Did it change you into the person that you are today?
Absolutely. I feel like it made me more positive as a person. It made me realize that tomorrow's not promised to anybody. Made me realize that you shouldn't take anything or anybody for granted.
Right.
It made me feel like I have a responsibility. You don't really realize how violent, how tragic gun violence is until it happens to somebody close to you.
Right.
And then you realize that, okay, I need to make a stance. I need to do whatever I can do possible to encourage the youth, to encourage people out there in the streets that are carrying guns and committing senseless acts of violence to try to change and realize that there's better things out there in life to do than to harm other people. And especially most of the time it happens for minuscule reasons.
Right.
It's small reasons over things that can easily be resolved in another way.
What has the healing process been like for you emotionally? Like, how have you actually started, or have you even started to heal?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm so much grieving anymore.
Right.
Still scarred. I'll be scarred for life.
Right.
But I try to take the positives out of the situation. I don't think that I'm healed. I'm not healed all the way yet. Like I said, I still have my moments where I sit and I think about things, and wish my father could be still with me today. But it's tough. It's a tough process. It's a process that obviously I know a lot of people go through, and that's the reason why we got to stick together while going through that process.
So obviously, you're here. You play for the Brooklyn Nets, and Brooklyn gun violence is prevalent. But you grew up in the Philadelphia area, and I just wondered, you being from the Philadelphia area, what would you say? Like, describe that to me, as far as the violence, the everyday life.
Yeah, well, just like in Brooklyn, I would say there's a path that you can choose.
Right.
You can choose that path that's gonna lead you end up either dead or in jail, or being on the street, having to watch for your life every day, or you can choose a positive path where you can make an impact on people, and you can smile, and you realize that love and caring
Right.
is the way to life.
Right.
And I feel like it starts kind of with the youth. It starts with the role models like myself.
Correct.
Being an NBA player, being in the spotlight, and just kind of trying to reach out and touch kids, man. Try to touch the kids that are in the inner cities, kids that have those options, that see it every day, that see guys, walking up and down the street, but also realize that there's another path that they can choose. And I feel like it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to try to touch those kids. So I'm trying to do some things in the inner cities, and try to get involved with some things in Brooklyn while I'm here to just try to touch. If you can touch one person, you can change one person's life
Correct.
and point them in a different direction. I feel like I've done a little bit of my job.
And it sounds to me that you had a strong family structure. So a lot of these kids don't have that.
Right.
And they do need people like yourself, role models.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you're sitting here today and you're sharing your story, because a lot of them feel like they can't relate. They feel that, I'm here in these shitty streets and you're on TV. But I'm sure until they hear your story, they're
Absolutely.
like, wow.
Absolutely. And they got to realize a lot of guys been in their position already that are playing in the NBA.
Right.
But they chose another path and chose to walk the straight path. And that's why they're successful today. You got to believe. If you don't believe in yourself, who's gonna believe in you?
Correct.
And that's a quote that I live by.
That's true. And the main reason we're even doing this interview today is because Brookdale Hospital is trying to start an anti-gun violence program similar to what was started at Temple University. And it starts here. With this new chapter in your life, moving on from your father's death, what does the words "it starts here" mean to you?
It starts here for me means it starts now. It starts with us. It starts with the youth to take a step in the right direction, take a step in a positive path, to take a step in reaching our children and reaching the people out there in the streets to try to change and try to realize that guns and violence and gangs isn't the way to go.
I have it here as part of my notes because it seems that you were always doing things to help the youth. And in 2009, you took part in the Seeds of Peace program.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That was actually unbelievable. It was a chance for me to go outside of seeing the things that are going on in the inner city streets and the violence here in America, and to be a part of kids from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Obviously, the two don't get along. I've been at war, and they brought those kids together at a camp for those kids to realize that it's they have a lot of similarities. You know, they don't need to hate each other. They don't need to harm each other. They don't have to grow up thinking that this is my enemy. And it got heated. It got heated sometimes. I mean, these are two places that went to war with each other, that have bombed each other.
Right.
So they grow up thinking that, you know, they need to, this is my enemy, and they need to hate each other.
Way of life.
Exactly, that's
Right.
the way of life. So, you know, they came together to this camp to try to understand that that's not the way that they need to live their life.
And you're doing it yet again. You're taking from a personal tragedy and you're turning it into something positive. It starts here. It's trying to target a certain type of youth, children that have been affected by gun violence, children that may be involved in the streets, negative influence, things like that. If you had to give them a message from WaynEllington Jr., what would that message be?
My message would just be to put the guns down. Put the guns down. Focus on something positive. Go to school. Get your grades. Think about going to college. Think about doing something in life that's going to give you success forever. Something that's going to make your family proud. Something that's going to make your kids proud. Think about the big picture, the future,
Right.
not think about just right now.
That's a powerful message, and I really hope that they listen. I want to say thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh.